Welcome to the second round in this game between these two teams. Before we start with round 2, let's take a quick look at the team stats from round 1. Welcome back to the second round in this game. As the Americans, we have OMBD, HSR, and TOF. And as the Russians, we have ARK+Nmercy. So, first round, I would say the opportunity would have been for both teams to push this west lane harder. In the beginning, just like both teams, at least, especially ARK+Nmercy, they tried to control this area, this hill here. They kind of get a high ground over these fields. But you couldn't really do a strong push from that hill. ARK+Nmercy did a great job pushing all the way up to this building right here to get a fob down, and from there they started to make some progress. They did have an opportunity to get a fob down somewhere in this area to try to push in from the west side and connect.
Take commander.
They had captured their way all the way to 37, so a fob on the west side here they could start pushing in from the west and clear out and trap this team, the coalition, their enemies, inside this grain process. And at the same time, there were also opportunities for the coalition to go heavier on this west side. They did a couple times try to get a fob down over here, but they lost it very quickly both times. And they were starting to lose control up here because they were trapped inside this fob that they had placed in this building. And as you can see, it's surrounded by open fields, so it can be difficult to push out from it. I think the key might, at least to this layer, might be actually this western lane here. Have at least some decent cover, some decent terrain you can work with, try to gain something, and just be quick. Both teams could have benefited much more from some quicker logistics. Both teams had openings where they could have moved up a logi to, secure the ground they have taken, or actually get in on the second flank. Nmercy had the ability to get a logi up over here, start working behind, to get up with maybe even a fob somewhere over here, to start working down to the south to link up with their push, and then already have a fob high up here that they can use to push east and connect with a fob from the east side. I think logistics will win more games here than on AES. I'm just talking this layer, specific layer. Because you kind of need to, quickly move your forces, transport your team. You want to lure the enemies out, maybe, do a fake push east side to make them go there and then switch to the west side. So they will have a bunch of players out here in no man's land. Because from this east side, you can't really push in on the central zones. Like, you can flank, but you can't start cutting the enemies off because you need to gain them in order. Yeah, I don't know, I like this. I really like this. I enjoy this. Territory control, I haven't seen many comp games, so it's quite new to me as well. Again, we see ARK+Nmercy going for this control early with the heli, and we see the coalition here going just with the scout in the heli.
I think he'll land on my FOB creation mark.
Already been called out. And this was it. You see, this is the reason you want to go around the west side, because you want to avoid fighting in this area, like between 41 up to, it's just open fields here, so you want to come in from the west side.
And the radio is right on my attack mark.
So you don't want to fight your way in, lay in these fields here trying to cap the zones. It's much easier to come in here and fight your way, but I guess if both teams do that, it will be more difficult. missed the shot. And the hat connects. Instead, in favor of Mercy and ARK.
At 34.
And I like this aggressive play. 2 lodges already. No, that was just 1 lodge. And the 30.
There's infantry and scout car on 34.
Now it's gonna be up to the TOF guys here for the coalition to get this hab up quickly so they could get more guys in here and delay this push. Jet pushing up, trying to keep Mercy and ARK from pushing down south, but they're already made it far, too far, or further than he expected them. Sonox takes some shots at Luki.
At the squad 4, north side.
Here comes the call that this could be decisive. Like deciding who will win this game. We'll get early control here on the west side. Like the Americans definitely don't want to let the Russians gain control here early on, because then they will have to deal with this the whole entire game.
West side.
It will constantly be a threat to them. So they must
right now.
repel this push. But it's such a heavy push so early, and the Americans only send like 4 guys over here. They also send, I mean, that MRAP with like 4 guys, but that MRAP got destroyed. And they're down, it's cleared out.
Got eyes on enemy ready on 70.
Russians
it's just
took
right
over
open on
Hunter's
the field.
club.
On 70, yeah?
Yeah. 17.
17, right. We'll see if we can mortar it down.
Yeah, both teams like kind of have their fobs in the same positions. Because you want to have them indoors. You want to have them, you know, under a roof, so your hab don't get mortared down.
Give me a second.
I think that's why helis also will be a huge factor if you have a good pilot that can spot the hab.
Tower 47, enemy BMP southeast of grain processing.
This OMBD squad for the Americans trying to hang on to some territory up in north of the field. They don't want to get pushed back already south of the field. Because if the fight starts going on down here, and the Russians already have this fob, they can start coming from the east side and supporting this push from this fob instead of having to fight up here. Yeah. Don't see any moving lodges for the Americans, and they're kind of set back.
Squad 6 MVP Tarmac is no longer accurate.
They need to get something going again. They lost a lodge early. It's always a big setback, but they need to react quickly now.
Extra build to the
because this west flank is in danger. TOF guys have respawned up here now, trying to push back out again to the west side. They know what's coming.
They got hab in 11.
BRDM. For the Russians as well, south of Hilltop. And now look at this. I like this. But there's a huge opening now for ARK+Nmercy to gain. I would say if they can get a logi down on the east side, somewhere over here,
somewhere on the mark,
they have a great opportunity to connect. They have already made their way down here to 31, 39. They could gain control with this fob on this hill and then connect it. If they have a fob south side over here somewhere, they can connect 53, 48 from the south side, so they don't really have to fight over these fields that much.
We have a lot of infantry contacts pushing in south side of the mortars.
Guys, hold the mortars on that ready marker on the field.
Yeah, our mortars are overrun, we can't do anything anyway.
Is this a Russian logi and fob that's being built? It has to be one.
They're on the radio on Hilltop.
No. It's an American. So yeah, I would say the Russians should definitely try to get out fob down here somewhere so they could work the south side up north. Try to connect if they could gain, 41, 48. They already have people here, they should just take the time now to push over this field and control this area.
BMP destroyed.
Try to kind of stealth cap the fields behind them. But this start was great. This was a great start. Strong start for the Russian team. Maybe a heli drop for the Americans somewhere. Again, there's like... They need to contest this. Drop a fob over here somewhere. Start working the way south. Pin them between two fobs, but they know what their fob is over here, so they want to get that back. Maybe reclaim the logi. Is this a logi coming up just in time to get destroyed by... No, that's a striker. So striker and 30 gonna go head to head here.
Enemy infantry on the east of
Oh,
our
this
eastern
timing can
hub.
work perfectly if they just move up
East
now. It's,
flank.
do they know? Darn it, do they see it? Maybe they want to wait for Squad 4 to get a lat hit on it
Left
first.
overrun on our eastern hub.
Maybe they couldn't see it. There we have a hit.
Hit once with the lat.
Wrecker's trying to find it now. Unlucky they did not get an engine hit. They're losing their fob on lower. This is not looking good for the Americans.
Bradley, back to main.
Logi in main, heli in main. Get a fob down here quickly now if you're the Russians. That would be the play for me. I would definitely sacrifice a heli for that. Because even if the heli is not, stealthy, it would force the Americans to push east instead. And they already know that you're over here because they're taking down their fob. But that will open up the west side, where you already got good control. So heli east, logi west, and then just push for everything you're worth. Like I said last round, you want to make moves, you want to do at least 2 at a time. Don't just do one thing. Do multiple things at the same time. That means that the enemies will have more problem that they have to organize and rethink what they're doing to react to what you're doing. If you're just setting up one fob, they can deal with that. But if you're setting down 2 fobs and attacking their one at the same time, you're mortaring down their other fob, the more things that's going on, the harder it is for the enemy team to
hunter group located it earlier.
To organize themselves and get back and go with their plan.
Squad 7
Squad
is
5
dealing
enemy
with that
PT
one.
are coming to enemy
That was a
hub.
terrible explanation, but I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say.
Oh, it's moving south. Squad 5.
Every time you force the enemy team to stop with, to stop doing what they want to do, to interrupt their plans, and they have to, talk with all the squad leads and come up with a solution to a problem. That's time that they have to, think instead of playing. That will slow them down. And when they slow down, you have the opportunity to gear up and put more pressure on them.
Squad 4, give me any marker, not even accurate.
I'm gonna throw up my UAV now.
7 now on the mortar fob for
North of you
the
two.
Russians.
Try to keep your push going.
Copy, copy.
We have an airstrike in 2 as well.
I always get that feeling that I forgot to press record. It has happened, that's why.
Taking down enemy mortar radio.
Yeah, you see how this is not the optimal, terrain to push through from this hill, even though the hill itself
Enemy
can be
radio
good to
spotted
hold,
inside grain
because you
processing.
got great visual, advantage or whatever you want to say. You can see far and gather a lot of intel and so on. So if you could hold this position from the north side and then manage to get a spawn south somewhere, so you can actually push from the south side and take this hill.
Enemy radio on grain.
So imagine you hold that hill,
inside the northern compound.
and then you take over this hill from the south side,
Hab looks to be
and
inside
then
the
you
main
can
building,
capture
like we placed it.
the field in between when you have secured this area. I mean, the same goes for the Americans, but the other way around. You want to hold this hill, take over that hill, and then take the fields in between. But it seems like this is the Americans' territory from the start. It's the Russians that have to fight for it.
Baikan, we've got overrun. Build the bunker.
Copy.
Once more, Spiken, the commander,
Nah, it's the radio being dug down.
has to fight to defend this fob. Last round, he had to defend it against 3 or 4 guys. And this time, it's only 2, 3, more or 6.
We're gonna lose the bunker FOB.
Nice support from the heli.
I'm sure
See if you can get a frag over it.
Radio.
Which is in with the full auto, takes them both down.
You killed me, didn't you, heli? I killed both. But the radio is on lead.
Yeah, one is killed. Yeah, there's still more.
He can land it and repair it.
Alright, guys.
Heli's down.
I'm gonna start building up habs everywhere because we have no habs up. We are literally out of spawn points. That is ridiculous.
Shoot the squad for Logi.
I'm gonna destroy squad 4 Logi.
What he said, it's terrible. This was the problem first round as well, kind of for both teams. You need to send your lodges back. You should always make sure you have at least one logi ready to go. And I would say they were not fast enough to respond to that. They did not get anything up on the west side early. So as soon as they knew that they'd failed with this one, they should have got another logic going back, resupplied, and try to get another point somewhere to contest the same area. I mean, there's plenty of tickets, plenty of time. It's definitely doable to get back in the game here for the American team. Solotov and Faux was making it difficult here for these guys out in the open. But they have already captured 48 and 40, so they don't need to be in the fields anymore.
We managed to save our Logi for now. Bradley, there ain't gonna be any ambush for BTR. Infantry squad, pick up the Logi from main base. I'm driving the Logi there right now.
Oh, this is the most important thing right now for the Americans, and I think he should get the Logi back as well, trying to gain another one. Maybe get something up on this hill so they can connect, again take over this east side at least, and start threatening, you know, the east side here. At least put some pressure on the Russians. Squad 7 coming in now from the northwest. They could play catch up, trying to slow down the
Our logic just got
Russian
destroyed
push
on
now
Evo
from the
lower.
northwest. It's time for ARK and No Mercy just to, as well, you get that extra aggressive fob in, just to keep up the pressure, make it too much. They need to overload the Americans now when they have the time and opportunity. I would probably just drive a logic straight up here somewhere. Right in there. They have the players over here, they know it's safe. Get the heli, anything. You need to gain that reassurance of having a fob so you can always push out. Solotov and Pista Fox with this squad are doing a good job slowing down the ARK guys over here. This is a missed this. Aggressive push on this fob. Like it.
There is a full logi truck at main available for infantry squad to pick up.
Copy that.
Duck, the only man alive now, camping the hab. These guys are freaking out. Wonder if it would serve him better to fall back and pick up some guys. But I don't know. Is there anyone else coming?
I still have my A10 up. If I can get a squad leader to drop a request marker on the grain processing, I can take out their radio and put it in bleed. It's open.
Sabu. Radio in the open? Oh, I see. Through the roof.
I will try.
Yeah, why not place the radio underneath the roof on this side instead? Small things like that could be what we know. The
marker
difference
doesn't have
of
to be
the
exactly on the building, it just needs to be inside
fob
grain
goes
processing.
up or not,
The range is quite big.
and duck goes down.
The striker crew is gonna hunt down the BTR. If we fail, we're switching to infantry and leaving striker main.
Oh, looks like the Americans managed to hemorrhage the bleeding here on the east side. They got a fob up, they are pushing back. Solotov still alive. He's probably gonna die now just because I said it. Yeah, of course. Pista on the radio already. That's what he does best. Now Bad Moon and Bosch rushing back, trying to save the radio. Folks on the way as well. To support.
We don't know yet.
No, I can't place that marker.
Yeah, we'll tell them.
Pista. That C4 will probably blow up soon.
Just focus on the box.
There we go, and now he needs to hold
Try
it
to
while
get
it
the head
bleeds.
back. We can still push
Bad
him
Moon
out.
coming in and takes him out. Rally in, out on the east side for them as well. And it's kind of stabilizing. I think, again, that ARK and No Mercy, they lost the opportunity to get an aggressive fob. They were in control of this area. They could have had the heli coming and all the logi. They had definitely had time for it. And from here they could have just kept pushing. But I think
This squad
the
one is
attack
really regaining
that
control on
the
Tasma.
Americans did on this fob slow down. Did slow down the Russians enough that they had time to actually push out again. because the Russians
We can
didn't have
try.
enough rallies or... Yeah, again, when you clear out an area, when you have made that hard fight and you won that hard fight to gain some ground, you should, you know, secure it with a fob. That would definitely would have changed things. Now the Americans had time and space to re-establish and reset up things here around Hilltop. I think ARK and No Mercy definitely gave it back to them too easy. Also, very nice push there with the MRAP to block the hab for a bit, stopping the flow. And I guess they did not have rallies out, because they could not push back out and reinforce this area. I'm talking about the Russian team could not reinforce this push they had. So it looked terrible for a while for the Americans, and now it's just looking okay. Both teams are kind of, you know, solid. Now it's quite balanced right now. Americans have control south of the fields, Russia north of the fields, and it's gonna be for one of the other teams to make this push around the west side of this field through this forest, or around the east side on the hill, and then make a play from there. Kind of the thing with some of these TC layers, that you see them, even though they're kind of, you know, small, they have a tendency to, you know, force players into a even smaller area. So all of the fighting, or like the capable zones are in the same place. Like, you don't want to fight for these open fields caps, you want to fight for these ones. So many that
Perfect.
are just terrible. Striker now in a position
Enemy
to
radio is gonna go on bleed here.
overlook this fob.
Enemy radio on green process is going on bleed. It's gonna open up time to push.
Do they have anything to push with behind it? Does not look like it. And there is the
Enemy BMP.
BMP.
From that FOB.
Airstrike will
Gorodok, I'm
take
gonna steal your login.
No, not squad now.
Copy.
down the radio to bleed.
He's moving south on the road. Squad 1. BMP moving.
We'll just take it back up.
We are the northwest here.
So that gained them. Ooh. That was a close call for someone. Again, about, you know, 30 to 50 seconds for them to dig up the radio and then the hab to go active again. And that's about, you know,
There is
30
an
to 50
EMP
seconds
marked
where
on
the
line processing.
enemies can't spawn on it either, but it's a small sacrifice. I think it's kind of a waste of a airstrike. Know if you can, you know, need it more later. I mean, at the same time, it's a waste if you just sit on it and don't use it. So. So we have now squad 7. Squad 7 for the Americans. And 9 for the Russians. Fighting for this western zones.
We lost Browley due heavy anti-tank.
And whoever
Heavy
wins
anti-tank
this
somewhere.
Enemy
fight,
scout go northeast squad 6.
I would say should try to get the feeling that they could move up.
Working on the BMP.
helis available again.
I think the first truck or Neva lower have all of their.
I mean, you could even place a fob far out over here somewhere, and just have as a spawn for squad leaders to get rallies down on the west side. At least you have something to shift players and get more pressure.
BMP is hit with heavy AT.
BMP down.
That was a nice shot.
Nice.
Whoever that was. Sisu, maybe? Was talking about the waste of
Enemy
our
radio
airstrike
on
and
one bleed out.
yada yada. We do have now Faux, Pista and Solotov on the radio. I don't know how they got here. They ran across
around 36.
from the east that they had their rally over there at least before. That will get shot in, but no, he turns around. Just in time. Masabu against Pista. We have the radio in bleed, so they need to work quickly. They trade. Zombie can go inside and dig up the radio. Was a good try, was a good try.
A lot of enemy infantry on tile 46 heading south.
We have infantry contact on Neva lower.
I think both teams should just decide where do they want to push? Where do they want to take some ground?
West side.
Do they want to make a push west and do it? And they want to push east and just do it, take some ground, get LOG, resecure it, then can start to balance it out and re-establish control where you lost control when you did that push.
Enemy BTR took a rocket and it's in. Bertem!
Engine broken.
BRDM destroyed.
Copy.
We're past halftime of this round 2. 26 minutes left from the 1 hour game time we have, or they have agreed on. Bone and inshallah in the 30. If you didn't see round 1, I cannot read what it says, the Russian letters. Oh, I just decided to call him Bone.
What is enemy logic?
On Neva lower, marked.
Okay. We can't do shit about it.
Well, they did get a logic down. I didn't see it.
27 west side.
Getting tired, maybe. So it looks like ARK and Mercy, ARK and No Mercy have decided to make a push here from the east side.
It's moving now.
Now, if they regain a fob up here somewhere, the Russian team, they could do that move like I talked about earlier. They could move from the south side to gain this hill,
it's moving
north side to gain this hill, and they will get full east control in this area, and they can start pushing west to cut off the push on the west side from the Americans. Or just try to make a hard push towards 58 and 61. Americans could try to do a push from 31 through this line of trees. So from east to west and cut this whole chunk off. Oh yeah, they are building a fob, but reps say have already found it. No, I'm so fucking yeah, I'm tired. This is the American fob. The Russian one is down here. There we go. Okay, I get it now. I'm with the game. I know what's going on. And here, Bobby, they are placing a fob here on this hill. This is a very strong
We have
position
a
to
flanking
control.
squad setting up with a lodge on zone 52.
Even when you play just, you know, AES, try to fight from
And
the
enemy
upper
radio
lower end
located as
hilltop.
well on 52. We need to react to that enemy radio being set up, boys.
I'm coming there with 3 guys.
Hunters could also do it if they have any set up anywhere, but they don't. Strike versus 30 coming up out on the west. Striker took more damage than they were comfortable with, but they are still on top when it comes to damage.
Need some supplies on Echo 7 Hap. 80s don't have any ammo left.
With these fob, if the Russians, like I said,
Squad
had
7 and 10, if I airstrike...
got a fob there, because they're losing 41, 45. They're not going to be able to connect to anything here from the east side from this fob, because they lost control of this hill. But I like it. They have one far east, south,
Destroyed.
so they could, if they would have control, gotten all of this, and then they would still have one to pin, push towards the anchor from the east and south, and also down. So that would be my concern if I were the Russian team, to get back control of this hill, to connect the areas between the hill and the hills. So we have a logic coming up now.
Losing left
Enemy
flank heavily.
Another lodge on grain processing. They're gonna place more FOBs here.
Another lodge is coming north from that new hab.
It's more equal when it comes to kills this round. Revives, kind of like the same, about 10 difference. A lot of dead Americans here.
We need more people on 52.
And again, this would be the time for a logi. You have control. You have fought your way all the way over here. You should be able to get a logi towards this area, or even around, back down to this area somewhere.
As soon as I have my artillery ready, I'm gonna throw it from 39 up towards grain processing. Wrong, 37.
Like
up
how
towards grain processing. We can try to cut
Always
them off
Alone
here.
is pushing
It's
around
an easy cut off.
around these guys, pushing south. You have the terrain, the low ground that he could use.
Good luck.
You see, he can continue on the low ground all the way around and get into a very, you know, threatening position down here somewhere, or even go all the way around. Let's take the fight. Support from the outside as the rest of these guys are pushing up, and there's only a handful of Americans alive over here, and we have about 7 or 6 Russians clearing the hill. Jep and Finlander and Sonox, they all died.
Copy.
Boys alone, taking lead. Running through the fields. Go, man, this is the time. You just won the fight. Enemies are laying dead or respawning, so this is the time to gain a couple of extra yards or meters or ground, whatever you want to say. And he should slow down now. He made it across the field. He should just hold the position to make sure enemies are not moving up on his friends so they could push over as well. We have Badash and Carbon with a Logi. And things might happen then soon. If they get a spawn here now, the Americans, they could go clear out these rallies. They could really push hard on the west side.
We cannot make the boost from 37 to 30. We're getting pushed at the hub really hard right now.
You have coming up. You have
37
Copy
to
that.
You
30.
have coming up. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready.
I'm dropping my artillery then. New hab is coming up. Try to utilize it.
What? Am I blind? $37 to 30. No. Maybe I misheard it. Or maybe I'm just too dumb to understand what's going on.
Striker's going to camp enemy main. Maybe we're gonna find some lodges. If you got visual on enemy vehicles abandoned or lodge tracks, just let us know. We
Always
fuck 'em up.
alone. Made it into a great position here on the flank. I do need support from his mates to push up as well. Harmless and 2 club pushing south to try to move around. It would be my guess. Come around this way, maybe. Maybe just get a rally down to make sure they don't lose everything. See, now they can come in from behind, play catch up. They should send a few guys north straight away. Take this when it should be empty. You know, the enemies forward push have already pushed past this area, so it should be quite clear up here. So they should push up north with a few guys to try to hold the terrain up here and then clear out these push from the north side as well.
Overrun on the eastern hub.
Command fob is also going to be overrun in a second soon.
Now it's getting dangerous. If they lose this fob and this fob, there's a chance for ARK+Nmercy to connect now with the northern lines, push south, cut it all off towards this as well. I think this is kind of like I was saying, when you do multiple things at the same time, it's always makes it more difficult for the enemies to respond to it, obviously. So they're now pushing this fob, so they have a response by people spawning over here. They're also pushing this, and they're taking out this fob. And there's not any response really from the Americans, because they need to save everything all the time, so they can't really build. They got this fob up, it was great.
we got eyes on enemy vehicles. They should have spawned by now, at least some.
Not yet, no, at least not by the Neva
ARK
area.
now have the opportunity to kind of push hard on the east side and maintain control west with this fob. I would re-secure or secure the west flank here by
We're losing territory 45.
by placing a fob somewhere in this area.
Yeah, we're gonna need to reinforce 45 and 44. They're gonna try to cut us off as well.
So you cannot get, you know, cut off. You don't want to be trapped in there when you want to push out to 23.
You can hold squad 7, the western side, we will hold the north side. The recon is
We are
going
losing
back
everything
to the
north of Hilltop.
ARK is doing a good job spreading out and
I'm
capping
gonna try to work
several
on defending that, but I don't have enough
areas in
for
the
it.
same time. You don't, that's what you want to do. You want to contest as many zones at the same time, so the enemies need to go everywhere as well. I don't know if it was the artillery strike that slowed down the Americans. They did not get far from this hab.
Enemy FOB on the east of Hilltop, one stage down. They
So
can
if the first guy guys didn't push out far enough, or if probably just these guys spawning on the rallies and killed the first guys, and then they got kind of boxed in or trapped on the hab again. I'm not sure what happened. I was sure that the Americans would kind of like gain everything here now with that hab, that they would just mass spawn and take over this shit. And then from here they could try to, you know, cut the east push off by, you know, capping all of these. So as the Russians were fighting down here with a lot of guys, they would just cut them off over here. But that did not happen. At least not yet. And I just realized that they're down to 51 tickets. And about 12 minutes left in the round. Remember, first round, the now American team won with 50 tickets. So if the Russian can maintain this lead, they will win the second round and they will win the match. Like this, FOB as well going out. There's going to be 10 tickets. They're going to be down to 30 tickets now soon here, the Americans. Also a vehicle in danger. And another FOB in danger. And another FOB, you see? ARK and No Mercy are showing No Mercy right now. They're pushing everywhere.
We can't afford to have so many people on the west. It's the
Gonna be 10 tickets. 10 tickets.
We aren't gonna make it.
I have supplies in the lodge standing next to it. We can place a new one right away.
Okay.
This is where
50
the
count,
hab is.
probably sitting close to squad 3 rally on the south.
Radio in the basement, I would guess.
Enemy
Looks like
FOB
it as well.
east of Hilltop.
Nice job, well done here for the Americans who managed to take out this FOB east of Hilltop. However, that will not be enough to win the game. 10 tickets for the FOB down on upper. It's gonna be lost for the Americans soon, and also 10 tickets for this radio. And that's game. Not to speak of all the guys that are dead over here that's gonna bleed out. So unless they can take 40 tickets from the Russians, they will win. And now an artillery strike on top of that as well.
Strikers withdrawing from the game. We're gonna lose this vehicle.
But he pushes in towards the upper with a smoke and Tiger.
Hold the response.
Yeah.
And there we have it. So there we have it. ARK+Nmercy lost the first round at 50-0, but won the second round 96-0, which means that they take the game 96-50. Thanks you for watching. Thanks to all the players. GG and take care.